Welcome to Vibes and Side Eyes, where the tea is hot and the takes are hotter.
Hey, it's your girl Maria J.
And I'm Taylor Made. Welcome to the podcast where we discuss real life, pop culture, and everything in between.
We're bringing you the good vibes.
And the side eyes. Well,
Okay.
hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to another episode, y'all.
Yes. And we're recording today on actually Valentine's Day. So I know we're posting this later than that, but still, hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. Hope y'all got some alone time.
Yes.
And I hope there was a lot of love to go around. What did y'all get for Valentine's Day?
Yes. Let us know in the comments because we want to know. We nosy.
All right. We're going to do a vibe check, y'all. So I'm doing pretty good, mentally stable this week. Amen. Um, and it was a really busy week, but it went by pretty quick and it was productive nonetheless. So, amen for that.
Hallelujah. Amen. No, same
Yeah.
here. It was a little rocky. Started a little cray cray, but then it ended really, really well. So I'm grateful. And then this weekend's
hmm
been pretty smooth. I feel like last weekend went so fast, and this weekend has really calmed down. I think it's because we're off on Monday. I don't know if you're off on Monday, but I am off on Monday, so I guess that's why it feels a little. Oh no, I'm sorry. But that's why it feels like
It's
the weekend's
okay.
going a little slower for me this time, so I'm loving that. And we get to film tonight,
That's
so I'm
good.
excited.
Yes. It is going to be so much fun.
Absolutely.
So, you want to introduce the tea and pour it, or do you want me to
Yes,
introduce the
absolutely. And
tea?
you guys, just like y'all heard it last on the last episode. We typically have several different segments before we get to our main topic, but this topic is so massive and deserves so much time that we have to actually just jump right into it. We're going to talk about the Brenay and Tim drama. Mhm. Mhm. Everybody get your tea out. Get your snacks. Go get your snacks and come on back. we
Yes.
gonna we gonna we gonna sit and relax and talk about this. This is crazy.
Very crazy. I mean, you're talking about a loaded situation. We're going to take y'all all through the whole thing. So, we have a perfect timeline out for you guys. So, some of you may already know who these people are that we are going to be talking about tonight. And those of you who don't, by the end of this show, you definitely will.
Oh, you will. We should talk about who Brenay is.
Brenay, she is a hot star on the TikTok world, the social media world, period.
Yeah.
She has about 3 million followers on TikTok and over, I believe, 240,000 on Instagram. She is a big thing to the social media world. She's, pretty much known for like her click clackety nails, and she is a blessed sister in the chest area, so people know her for that as well.
Got a big old titty old bitties. Big old bitty.
Yeah. Yes, and she also has a twin as well. So some of you may know Corinne, but we'll be, sprinkling a little bit of that information throughout this episode as well. But yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and dive on in.
Okay, so let's take it back to high school. Okay. So here's the
Mhm.
scene. We have Brenay, a person named Tim, and a person named Devon. Okay. They all are in high
Mhm.
school. Devon and Tim are allegedly cousins. That is yet to be technically confirmed, so we're just covering our bases. Oh, that actually reminds me, everything said in today's podcast is alleged and is our personal opinion and is not to be taken for fact or factual evidence in any type of way. This is just us chatting our opinions. Everything in this podcast is completely opinion based and all alleged. Okay. So allegedly, Tim and Devon are cousins. Brenay, so they all kind of knew each other in high school. Brenay and Devon, or I'm sorry, Brenay and Tim actually started dating first. So Brenay and Tim dated for a little bit. It didn't really work out. I'm trying to remember exactly if they said why, but I do know that Tim's Some of Tim's family, I think specifically his dad, did not like Brenay. So I think that was causing
Mm-hmm.
a lot of strife. It was giving puppy love. So
No, absolutely. And I was just gonna add on that when it came to his dad. I feel like the mom was more cool with it, but the dad was just like absolutely not.
mm-hmm.
He kind of peeped the game way back then, but yes, that is going to add
Yeah.
on to the rest of the alleged things in this podcast show.
Absolutely. I do think sometimes, a lot of times, either one or both parents really like pick up on certain things with a significant other or a person that's pursuing you or whatever. Like it tends to happen a lot where at least one or two of both of them will clock it before you do. So that's always a thing, I feel like.
Hmm.
Um, so, anyways, they dated sometime after high school. I don't know exactly when they started dating officially, but her and Devon began to date. So I do believe it was after high school though. They dated, they got married. Oh,
Okay.
you guys, if y'all see me looking down, I got notes, honey. So yeah, so at some point, Brenay and Devon began to date. Everything's cool, you know. Tim and Brenay, that's in the past, like whatever. But apparently, everybody seemed to kind of still keep in touch. We'll get to that, but everybody seemed to kind of still be kosher, and they're keeping in touch on the side. So I
Hmm.
think this is a good time to tell how each of us found Brenay because I mean, I haven't always been following her, but I would say for me, it started in 2020. And the first thing I realized or found her doing was like the nails. And I was like, that's interesting. It was a little ASMR-y. I really liked the click clack of her nails and different things like that. I was big on ASMR back in the like a few years ago and still am. And so
Hmm.
I really just, she caught my attention with that. And then, of course, her physique was very interesting. So I saw she was really popular because everybody's like, interesting. And I saw immediately that she was married at the time with Devon. And I thought he was like cute or
Hmm.
whatever. And they seemed to have a really good dynamic. So I pressed follow and been following her ever since. What about you?
So I can remember the exact year that I started noticing her, but it was first on TikTok, and I seen her messing around with some Fabuloso and I believe some Tide Pods, and I was like, "What is this girl about to do with these?" So she,
Not the Tide Pods.
so she was like melting these scent beads down as well, and she had the Fabuloso, and she was talking about how to make your house smell clean. I was like,
Oh,
okay. So I love like household items and different products to make your house smell good. So I was like, I'm gonna follow her.
yeah.
And then I started, kind of following her on TikTok, and then I seen her on YouTube as well. She made some videos there. And I was like, oh, she's, in her early 20s. She's married. It looks like things are on the right track. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is just a young black couple trying to thrive and build together. And that was pretty much my impression of her.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then,
And it seemed like she was being loved out loud, treated really well, in my opinion. It seemed.
yeah,
It seemed.
yeah, and Devin, he seemed like a cool, laid back guy, hard working. Like every time we heard about Devin, he was always on his way to work. So I was like, okay, that's a good brother. But they seemed like they, were following the Lord too. Amen. My prayer cloth. That's for y'all who know. Okay. But yeah, that was my impression, and that was my first impression. So that was a lasting one for a while.
And you know
Hmm.
what? I feel like yappers, they call them yappers now, but like yapping videos, yappers, that all kind of started around 2020 because everybody was stuck at home. People were getting on the internet just telling all their
Yes.
business. And I feel like she was one of those up and
Hmm.
coming yapper girls on TikTok and even YouTube. And
Hmm.
so I like really enjoy listening to her content and like having it on the background, things like that. So I really feel like I connected a lot with her on her story times and things like that. Like I really loved her long form content as well.
Yeah, because I feel like her content pulls you in and it's relatable. Most of the
Mhm.
things you do, people love to eat. They love to go
Mhm.
places. They love to shop. And one of her favorite places to go, you can tell that I watch, is Marshalls. And so, like, going to
Mhm.
places like that and looking at all the different trinkets, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is
Mhm.
like fun content.
Yeah.
Content. It's wholesome.
Mhm. It seemed very relatable, I feel like. And just to see that she was like also in love too, which is I mean, I think a lot of people want that. So it was just like really, it drew you in. It drew you in. She does have a
Yep,
charisma
for
to
sure.
her. So just keep that in mind, you guys, because I know some of y'all, if y'all haven't heard of this person, you're gonna go Google her and you're gonna be like, your initial reaction, I
Yes.
think, will be like, huh? But I would like to say she has a lot of charisma. She's a beautiful girl, you know. She's
Mm-hmm.
interesting for sure, but like she's great. Like I can see why she would be someone would want to pursue her.
And so like with that background story of Brenay and Devon, Tim and Brenay, and all of that, yeah, we can just go ahead and move on to some allegations and tell a little background story about Brenay and Tim and that whole dynamic.
Before we do that, can I ask you what you thought specifically about Brenay and Devon's relationship? Off rip, just from what you had saw before all the other stuff started happening. What did you see?
So, yes, in the early stages, I felt like they were in love. Like they really loved each other, genuinely loved each other. Like they weren't just doing it for the camera.
Yeah.
Um, and I felt like they had a really good connection and things were going well. So, after a while, I started allegedly seeing on YouTube videos, and it just kind of seemed like I don't know, like something shifted. And I wish I knew like exactly when I seen the change,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like Devin was kind of just like, so if you ever seen any videos on Devin, his face is just like straight. He has a serious face in all the different videos. And it seems like he was just kind of like over the situation. Kind of like if he's getting bullied in the relationship, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody else picked up on that, but I was just like, it's kind of seeming a little off. And then it was kind of seeming like Brenay sometimes would be a little rude to him because he has like a
Mm-hmm.
standoff personality and she has a stronger personality, and you can see that, you can pick up on that in the different videos. I'm not really sure what was going on behind closed doors, but you could definitely see it on camera. How
Interesting.
did you view them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when I first noticed him, I did feel like he was the strong silent type, if that makes sense, but not in a way of like I'm being held hostage. Like when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's happy to be there, right? Renee seemed to me like a leading type of person, like very alpha, right? So she seemed very alpha, and he seemed
Mm-hmm.
kind of more beta, right? But it worked for them. It didn't seem
Uh-huh.
forced at the time. I will say, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
consistently look at her content all the time, but when I would go back, I kept seeing the dynamic, like you said, change. I feel like towards the quote unquote end, it felt like he was being dragged into it. It felt very forced, very like, we're so happy. And he's like, we are? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're so happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't giving. He's always been silent and not super chalant, but like he seemed even more pushed back. Like it was giving weird, and I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were picking up on it, but we didn't have really anything else to go off of. So it was like, okay, I guess this is just their dynamic.
And then here's a quick little story time. So there was this one YouTube video that I seen of them, and they were eating some Wingstop chicken wings, and I was like, they were having like, I think they were going through like a Q&A, and
Mm-hmm.
so the you can tell when the energy is off, and I'm just like, something is up with these two. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
usually how it usually is.
I did meet you. I was like, hi, Devon. My name's Brenay. We did meet. We met at that little shut-in. Yes, huh? We had to meet everybody. I did meet you.
When was this?
At the shut-in. Me and Tim was dating. How old are you? I'm 22. I'll be 23 December 31st. I had a lot of flats, and they were real thick, weren't they? You just... No, put it on your mouth. Give me a kiss.
And so I was just kind of looking at Devin, and he was like eating the chicken, and then his facial expression was just kind of like, I really don't want to be on camera. And I really feel like she would force him most of the time to be on camera because he wasn't the kind of person that wanted to be in the spotlight.
Yes. So I'm sorry, I cut you
Yes.
off earlier. So you wanted to move on to another part of the situation.
No, that's good. So we can give a little bit more background to that. And so now I guess we can get into the allegations.
Allegations will arise in a lie.
Yes. So here we go. Let me go ahead and pull up some notes here.
While you're pulling up those notes, I'm just going to give a little bitty backstory. We're not going to talk too much of Tim. Honestly, we don't know too much of a backstory of Tim and Akira, like how they came to be Tim and Akira. I don't know where Akira came from, but she came. And Timothy, aka Tim Montague, and Akira Montague get married in 2018 and later have children together. I do believe they have about, I want to say 3 or 4 kids. Don't quote me, but I think it's about 3 or 4. It's definitely more than 2. In early 2020, Brenay Kennard grows a large TikTok following, posting lifestyle content. Okay, so it was around 2020. That's why I found her, because that's when she got big. Early 2023-ish, going into 2024, there are claims from Akira, who is Tim Montague's wife. Akira claims Brenay started a romantic relationship with Tim while he was still married. Now, when this news dropped, it was all over TikTok. I don't know if you were on TikTok. I don't know how you did not hear about this story, because it spread immediately. I got ahead of myself. Before Akira came out to claim that, what started it off was Brenay gets on TikTok and does a video. First off, people were speculating that something was going on with her and Devon, which was her husband at the time. She had kind of took a social media break for a while. She came back from her social media hiatus and posts a video. And in that video, she doesn't come on and say that they're separated. She doesn't come on and say that they're going through a divorce. She comes on there and says, me and Devon are divorced. Already. This is already
and also
occurred.
just to break in front of that real quick. So before then, there was allegations that Devon was cheating first on a dating app.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. And I feel like allegedly she wanted to point the finger first so that when she broke out with the information, it didn't seem too bad.
Also, to input, Brenay, before she took the social media hiatus, Brenay had a certain guest that kept coming on her little yapping sessions and TikTok videos. And this person was
right
Tim
about it.
Montague. Now, I would say it was 50-50. Most people didn't think much of it because Devon's right there in the background, or Devon's somewhere. You see Devon walk by, you're not thinking too much. Again, they're allegedly cousins. Not a big deal. She introduces him as a friend. Cool. Everybody's hanging with each other. Akira's over there sometimes, but then sometimes she's not. But we just, people noticed that he was in the videos a lot versus Devon.
No. Oh, Tim, go ahead, bro. Dang. We about to cook, y'all. Okay, tell me about this. That's what we're cooking.
Okay, so we're on the right phone. Okay. But the other 50%, you can see in the comments that they were like, whoa, there's something here. Like, there's some chemistry here or something. Something's going on. Especially when Brenay spoke about, she mentioned it very briefly in one of her videos that her and Tim did date first. Again, that's very important later on in the story, but she did say that. And so when people heard that, that's all they needed. And so, yeah, I didn't even know that Devon had allegations on him first. So that's really interesting because, like I said earlier, Akira did claim around 2023 or early 2024. She started claiming after Brenay came out and did that video that's when everybody was freaking out, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, typically people get on and say, hey, we're going through a divorce. Like, this girl was already divorced at this moment. So
Yep.
everybody's freaking out, like, what's going on? And then, boom, here comes Miss Akira Montague.
Yeah, and when Brenay came out with that video, it's like everything just took off so fast. Like her and Tim ended up moving in together. And I'm just like, wow. And so, well, let me retract that too, because they were in that space together. They kept saying to social media, though, like, Tim doesn't stay here. You know, he has his own house, he's doing his own thing. But every time she would get on the internet, Timothy was in the background. And we just like, okay, now what's going on here? One time she even made a video and she was doing some makeup and we see Tim walk in the background and he's going in the bathroom. She's like, oh, he just came to pick me up. And we just like, something is going on here. We about to put 2 and 2 together because 2 plus 2 makes 4.
Yes. And a lot of comments were speculating that something just felt off. Like, they couldn't put their finger on it, right? Oh, and then in early 2024 is when Akira and Tim officially separate. Also, early 2024, a video appears where Brenay says she couldn't wait to be Mrs. Montague. Just randomly. Okay. This was used later in some court proceedings, but that's just foreshadowing. Just letting y'all know.
But it's just kind of like everything, like once you go back and look at the alleged evidence, everything was kind of like premeditated. And I just feel like, I kind of feel like she used her marriage to plot on what she actually wanted.
I agree. I think she's the nightmare that a lot of married women think that some of their friends are when they're really not. But I think that's like every married woman's nightmare, is just like the person you befriended, because again, there's nothing that speculates that Brenay and Akira were like super besties or anything, but it just seemed as though everyone was adjacent, parallel to each other. They're all hanging out with each other. The kids are hanging out at Brenay's. I know for sure that Brenay babysat their children, Tim and Akira's children, multiple times. She would make so many different videos about it. So this was an integrated, quote unquote, alleged family-ish type of bond. So everybody loved everybody. It was all meshed. And I think Brenay and Akira had some type of rapport, whether it was besties or just friendly or friends. We don't know. But at anyhow, if I'm going to let you watch my child, we're probably really, really cool at the least.
Right.
Right.
Like, I just can't imagine Akira knowing that they used to talk in high school and still have her around her kids. I'm sorry, but I just would have not done it. I wouldn't have done it.
I honestly do not think she knew that. I honestly don't think she knew that until, I don't think this is getting too ahead of it, but I don't think she knew that until her and Devon allegedly compared notes. I think there was a comparing of notes once Brenay and Devon were finished. It's not in my notes, but I would like to mention that at the same time, Devon is still kind of protecting her online, saying that he's not going to answer questions about the divorce, but that it was, at the end of the day, kind of amicable, but like, he's not going to talk bad about Brenay at that time. That's kind of what the vibe was. Both parties were not going to really say anything much about it. I don't think that started to change until Tim became more in the picture.
There was a video of Brenay moving, and Tim and Devon were helping with the move. And I'm just like, that's kind of weird to have this situation going on.
Seemed like what they were both saying online separately and on their videos was the truth, because that's what we're seeing, right? We saw, like you said, the moving video, Devon's still there, no one's fighting. Everything's fine.
Yep.
So we thought.
Right. Played us good. I was still waiting for the video where they would say, oh, yeah, this was just a prank. Oh, okay. Thank you. That explains it all.
Please. My Lord.
But no, that is a very good summary of that whole situation when it first began. Also, you kind of touched on the alleged allegations of Tim and Brenay messing around within their marriages. You did kind of mention earlier in the show as well that Tim and Brenay did used to date, and for whatever reason, it did not work out.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they were plotting to get together. It's another piece of that I'm going to add on to, but it's going to be later on once we really get into the nitty gritty of things.
Okay.
But it was one thing that kind of stuck out when it came to Tim and Akira's relationship.
Ooh, I can't wait. That sounds juicy. I have a question for you, and even everyone listening, please put your opinion in the comments. We would love to hear it. Now, knowing the dynamic of everything, is this something that you would be okay with? Like, whether you were Brenay in the situation or Devon or whoever in the situation, at some point they all agreed. Now, again, I do feel like Akira did not know, even though I think Brenay has said that she knew. So let's just assume maybe she did know, but everybody was still very buddy. Is this something you could do in your relationship in marriage?
Oh, so like having my man's ex-girlfriend around?
Right.
Absolutely not. No.
That's gonna be a hell no for me.
Let me go ahead and elaborate on that, because there comes a point where there can be like a moment where there's rekindling of feelings, and I just feel like that's not a healthy spot to put your relationship into. It's like y'all had y'all's time. It didn't work out for a reason, so we are not about to put that back together. And it's hard enough to just trust people that are already, like just so say like if I had my husband and he has a homeboy and his wife, like can I really trust this woman around my man like that? So to have
Right.
somebody who actually has history with them, absolutely not. I wouldn't do it. What about you?
Absolutely.
You going for it?
I'm not going for it, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, they hunched.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't like that. And so now this would be different. Like, they dated, like, say they dated in kindergarten or first grade. Okay, please get out of my face. And then they ended up being
Right, y'all didn't go through nothing at
cousins
that
with,
age.
yeah. But knowing the intricacies and now knowing that they were in fact physically involved with each other back in high school, Brenay and Tim, like, absolutely not. If Tim really is cousins with Devon and they had to see each other at functions, let it be that. We all get together at functions. Okay, great. We'll sit at the same table. Fine. But I ain't going to your house. You're not coming to mine.
No.
And you dang sure ain't watching my children. Okay. Nope.
That's just too much. Like, you are definitely setting yourself up for something to happen. I just no. And I don't care how much you feel like you can trust that person. There's just a lot that goes with that would not be able to fly.
I feel like I would just be too paranoid. Like, oh, she laughed really hard at his joke just then. Like, I would be too much. I'm too intuitive and an overthinker to be in that kind of situation. Like, no. So in May 2024, Akira files a civil lawsuit against Brenay in North Carolina. Now, I do want to mention, I don't have the date of when Devon did, but I do believe Devon actually came out first. Now, I'm so sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. But as we said, Tim became more into the content. It became so much so that it was every day. You could tell Tim was probably living there. And if he wasn't living there, he was there 90% of the time. He might as well be living there. It became so much of that. Like, it was Brenay and Tim show now. And so as that's happening, things with Devon and Brenay, Devon started taking some shots at Brenay on some of his TikTok videos. And so Brenay started doing the same. So all of a sudden, this amicable situation became very non-amicable. Started getting a little nice nasty. And I do believe that Devon actually filed something first, but ended up canceling that lawsuit or taking that lawsuit down, and now he's about to ramp up later, but we'll get into that later. But so the first one who actually goes to court, though, is Akira. So she files a civil lawsuit against Brenay in North Carolina. She accuses Brenay of alienation of affection, which is breaking up a marriage, and criminal conversation, which is affair with a married spouse. Guilty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Guilty. We would like to mention that North Carolina is one of the few states where you can legally sue someone for allegedly ruining a marriage.
Y'all are really lucky that Texas is not one of them states, because y'all would be piss po broke.
Lock them up. Lock them up.
Yeah. Yeah. That is crazy though. Like, I wonder if they even knew. Well, apparently Akira and her party knew it, but I wonder if the other people included even knew that that was a thing in their state, because otherwise I feel like they should have crossed their T's and dotted their I's a little better.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knew until they knew. I mean, I think Akira didn't even know until she probably saw legal counsel, and they were like, "Oh, I have something for you. Guess what?" And so it's funny because you would think a natural person, once someone did that, you would kind of, the relationship online, anyways, would die down a little bit. Everybody would get kind of quiet. Let's deal with this lawsuit. Not Brenay.
Yep.
Not Brenay.
Mm-mm.
They seem to, at that
Not
point,
at all.
lean highly into it. It was not even now, oh, maybe they're dating. It was full-fledged. They were not hiding a thing.
I totally agree, because I feel like she could have still did content minus Timothy and could have still been making her coin. But she wanted to push, and I really feel like she wanted to taunt Akira with being around Tim, because why do you have to make it necessary to have him in every single video?
I'm so glad you said that part. Yeah. It was taunting. It was like, it's one thing to like ramp up the content, but the way she was doing it was a thing.
Because it was Miss Montague this and my husband. Well, no, she was not saying my husband yet, but she would throw out stuff like Miss Montague before they made things official. Yeah. And I'm just like, that is way too much. And still kind of like, even though they are separated, it's still seen in a disrespectful light. Absolutely. She probably didn't realize that then, but she's probably catching on to it now.
And Akira, by the way, during this time did ask the court to make it to where Brenay could not put their children, and by their children, I mean Akira and Tim's children, because contrary to belief, he is a father, apparently. And Brenay was putting Tim and Akira's children on YouTube and on TikTok videos while filming with Tim. Akira was like, hey, like you can have them on the weekends, but you cannot have them in your videos. Brenay ignored that.
Yep. Yes. And then I feel like there was a point where they started turning up the heat, because in some of those videos, like you would see like blackouts of the children. And then also, I believe it was told to her as well to keep Akira's name silent when it came to social media, because some people would call her out on things and she would just be like, oh yeah, well, I don't have a problem with such and such. Like she would never mention the name again. I was like, this is a big deal.
It is.
I also feel like, yes, he is a father and all of this, but I feel like we should see more activity when it comes to him and his children. Like, that's absent to me. The most I hear about it if Brenay is saying something pertaining to those children. But
I mean, we find out later in the court proceedings that he actually kept seeing his kids less and less and less as 2024 went on, because that was a part of Akira's trial. That was brought up, that he saw the kids less and less and less because Akira was putting stipulations. He's saying, oh, well, it's because you're trying to control everything. Well, not exactly. She's trying to make sure that her children aren't in all these videos with all this drama circulating. Like, they didn't choose all this. She doesn't want them in the videos. And I think there were some other stipulations as well. And instead of adhering to what she's saying, he's like, well, just keep them there. Like, keep the kids. Don't have them come over at all, is what it ended up being.
It is sad, because you still need that connection with your children, and then it's kind of like you are picking Brenay over your kid. That just kind of gives him an easy way out, I feel like.
Absolutely. I have a question. So is So say in the perfect world, Tim and Brenay are soulmates. Whatever you think a soulmate is, right? They're destined to be together. This is her person. He's her person. Is it worth going after your soulmate if it causes your then family to crash and burn?
Ooh, yeah, no. When it comes to like family, that is a little questionable. So I'm gonna touch on that separate. But
Right.
if they have to get rid of their immediate circle, like their wife, their children, just to be with you, absolutely not. That is not healthy at all. I feel
Mm-mm.
like everything has its appointed time, and if their relationship is not supposed to work out, let that crash and burn first on its own without your help.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then maybe depending on why they ended their relationship, then you kind of step in and see if y'all need to revisit what y'all had in the past.
Yeah.
But just to go out your way to try to ruin somebody else's life to take what you think that you want, it's not worth it. And it's
Mm-mm.
not going to turn out good.
No, we'll get into it
And
later,
then
but our
it's
predictions are not good.
as far as like the family part, like so if they're just like leaving their immediate family, like parents or a sister or brother or something like that, I mean everybody's grown at that point. And so
Hmm.
like if y'all are having issues not accepting the person that I'm choosing to be with, that's on y'all, especially if it's like in a hateration type of situation. But
Yeah.
then again, if y'all are just looking out for me, I'm probably gonna take heed and listen to it. But
Yes.
yeah, nothing is worth going through all that trouble just to
Mm-mm.
be with somebody.
And I feel like your
Mm-mm.
person wouldn't ask that of you, right?
No,
I think if naturally they were
not at
just
all.
feeling this attraction, this magnet or whatever, which I don't even think was the case.
Mm.
I do think they just started being flirty with each other and just took the opportunities. But let's say it was just
Yep.
this crazy connection. So when they're in the same room, they just, oh my God, I can't help it, whatever. Okay, divorce your
Mm-hmm.
people. Don't act on anything yet. Divorce your people.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate and say, hey, I don't think this is working out. I think I need to pursue something else. I need to end this first, though, before I do that. So sorry, woo woo woo. And then
Mm-hmm.
get counseling of some sort. And
Yeah.
then, if you still want to pursue the situation. But to just off rip, go for it
Yeah.
and deal with everything else later is crazy.
And at that same token, too, I feel like if you have that kind of strong of a connection with somebody and you know you are supposed to be in a committed marriage relationship, whatever the case may be, like be the grown up that you're supposed to be and just distance yourself from that other person. Like get the past out the way because that is
Yes.
a distraction at that point. And focus on your marriage and go on about your business.
I think the same,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I
Yep.
absolutely think there's nowhere in this story where I can even play any kind of devil's advocate to, oh, well, this is this, because I'm just like, either Brenay settled and got with Devon only because Tim wasn't available. That was the wrong reason to get with Devon.
Yeah.
Wrong reason.
Yes.
Should have never married him. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say I kind of had thoughts of Devon being the rebound guy from Jump because it's like, okay, well things didn't happen with Devon. I mean, things didn't work out with Tim, so let me just settle for Devon. And it's like, why'd you play with that young man's feelings like that? You really didn't want him.
Something just came to my brain that we didn't discuss or anything before, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a just go with me here. Brenay got with Devon to stay parallel to Tim.
Ooh,
Was this a plot from the start
that is true.
or a hopeful plot? I don't feel like
That
on
could
both
be
ends it was
true.
a plot, but I feel like on her end it was like a hopeful thing. Like, okay, well, if I can't have him, I can be parallel to him, still see him. At some point, it was like, oh, this is
Yep.
obtainable.
That just gave me chills. I like where your
Yeah,
mind went with that
I
because
didn't
it
think
makes
of that
all the sense in the
before.
world.
Yeah, because if they were truly
Yes,
cousins together, she knew that. So she knew that at minimum they would be at the same family functions, correct?
that's true.
So
Yep.
it's like, well, I can't have all of him. I'll take a piece.
And that is just diabolical. Why would you want a fraction of a man? Get you the whole thing.
Free.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, That's
But
it's
listen, when it
insane.
comes to love or something, I guess there are no rules. Like people will do the unthinkable to hold on to a person or whatever the case may be. That
Yeah.
is giving single white female rabbit on the stove.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
was
too
gonna say
much.
the same thing, but I was like, does she know that reference? Yes, it's giving Fatal Attraction. Absolutely. Rabbit
Hmm.
on stove.
I think we have done a really good job of, and y'all let us know down in the comments if y'all feel like y'all know these people now. You are walking with us because this is a whole lot, like we told y'all in the beginning, but we are trying to set it up in a way that you um understand like the craziness behind all of this situation and how calculated it was from the beginning up until where we are about to take you guys. So we can go ahead
Absolutely.
and get into it.
As we're
Mm-hmm.
getting into the trial, I do want to ask, do you feel like if more states had, or all states in America had that in that North Carolina law, would there be less infidelities?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because the law is the law. I have to abide by this. I don't want to come out of pocket. What did they used to say? It's cheaper to keep her. You're not trying
Yeah.
to come out your pocket for having infidelity issues. But then
Yeah.
also no, because I swear I don't care what it is, people will find a loophole to get out of a situation. So somehow they would cheat
Yes.
the system and wouldn't have to pay that money. But
Hmm.
yes, all in all, I do feel like if we had that law in every state, there would be definitely a less infidelity rate for sure. I
I
feel like
agree.
people would take it more seriously. Like, it's ridiculous that you would have to have a law to do that, but hey,
I
yeah.
saw another, I don't know if it was another podcast or if it was like just a live, but they were saying, asking the same question. They were asking the same
Yeah.
question, like, would it make people do it less? And it's like, at first I say, yeah, too. I say, oh, yeah, for sure. I'll at least make people think. But like, it's illegal to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think
Right.
there'd be less murder.
Yeah.
People don't care. People don't care, right? So I
Mm-mm.
just feel like maybe not because
Right.
people break laws all the time. It's illegal to steal. People still steal.
True.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but this, I mean, honestly though, this one I still actually say that it make you think because I'm getting ahead of myself. But how it ended, that's a lot of money, baby. That's a lot of
Yes.
money.
Woo.
Mm.
Absolutely.
You hate to see it.
Now, for that reason alone, well, no, no, no. I still wouldn't want to be in anybody's shoes. If I was going to be in some shoes, I want to be in Akira's. I will say that.
Absolutely. But you know what? That's even though with how it ended, and again, we're jumping to the end a little bit there, but like there's so much trauma that came
Mhm.
with it. So it's like I feel like at the end of the day, she would have
Yeah.
wanted her marriage and her kids. I feel like she just would have wanted her marriage and
Mm-hmm.
her kids. But this is a good second option.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna lose the husband, this is a good second
Absolutely.
option.
Speak Yes, and speaking of that too, so like we kind of touched on Akira a little bit, and we did kind of have the question like, where did she even come from? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like just seeing different clips and videos of Akira and her interactions when it comes to people, she does
Mm-hmm.
seem like a down to earth person.
Yes.
She seems like she has her head on her shoulders, and she just seems like like somebody's cousin or homegirl. Like she
Yes.
just gives that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She carries herself so well.
Yes. And that's another thing too, because people were kind of like when she was going live on TikTok, and they were like, "How have you not put your hands on Brenay yet?" And
Mm.
and basically her response is, "I have too much to lose," and so no, like I'm carrying myself a totally different way, and that just silence is key. And when I tell you she held it down so good, she really did her
Oh,
thing. She
proud of her.
did.
I don't know that lady at all, but I'm extremely proud of
Yes.
her and I wish her nothing but the best. But
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, the way she handled everything was just amazing. And anyways, we can get into the trial a little bit if you want to.
Yes, let's go ahead and dig into it. If bringing receipts was a person, it would have Akira's photo next to it because
Yes.
She kept all the documentation, like from text messages, different events that would occur at their home. There was one crazy allegation that I believe did end up in court documents, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that there were teeth laying around the house. I know that some people do, dibble and dabble in the black forces. Okay, now y'all just use your imagination, go there with me.
Mhm.
But it just kind of seems like there was a point in time where I can kind of connect this with this. Brenay was kind of doing destiny swapping with her. So,
I was gonna
everything
say
that
that.
Akira was doing, Brenay wanted it. Yes.
And I believe it
She
wholeheartedly.
wanted
I,
it.
I think that's real. I think that's so
Mhm.
real. I don't think that
Yeah.
a lot of people play with
Hmm.
that. Like I believe in it 100%. But I also feel like what people don't realize is that can totally backfire on you. Totally
That
backfire on you.
part. That part.
It can
Yes.
ricochet right back into your
Because
life.
it's like, yes. And it's like you don't know the ending of that destiny. So, like, let's not even play with it. That's some scary stuff. I believe in it too. And I just would not.
Mhm.
Because what if at the end of, God forbid, but at the end of the destiny, you were supposed to get hit by a bus? Oh Lord, like now that's my
Right.
fate. And I shouldn't have messed with it. But here
What
we
if
are.
Akira and Tim would have ended up
Hmm.
getting divorced regardless? If they
Right.
would have ended up getting divorced regardless, then why would you want a destiny? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know, like you just said, the ending of that
Hmm.
destiny. You don't know what that is.
Still talking about like the different stuff that came up in the court documents, how crazy
Mhm.
it was. But yeah, you said the teeth was a thing.
Yeah, I think that runs well with the type of gall that Brenay had. Like she
Yeah.
really played. Like the way she did not take anything seriously in this case needs to and will be studied.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because the way this was handled from the
Hmm.
beginning to the end is absolutely diabolical. The first being Brenay represented herself through the whole trial.
Yes.
What do you think
Yes.
about that?
I think she thought it was a game. I really don't think that she took it as serious as it led on to be.
Mhm.
I think she felt like, for some reason, I mean, and not to talk down on her and say that, her name means nothing, but it's kind of like, well, I'm Brenay. I'm famous on social media. So, and I feel like she kind of
Yeah.
led with that. But when she went in there with those different court documents, and I'm like, what could I can just imagine her being in the mirror and she was reciting everything she's gonna say in court. And she's like, okay, well, does this make sense to me? Because this is what I'm gonna use in court. And I
Mhm.
feel like she just really played the game. And she thought that she was going to end up on the other side, but apparently that's not how it all turned out. Not at
Oh,
all.
I think she was
But
heavily using Chat GPT and
yes.
just a lot of Googling. And
Hmm.
her reasoning, she said, was that she didn't have the money.
So, like, if you guys go and Google Brenay now and look for her net worth, and especially how much she got paid per month when it came to social media, how do you not have the money, sis? Where is the money going? So
Exactly.
it's really given it kind of just reinforced that she is a liar, unfortunately.
Yes.
But I mean, that's what it gave, because you have actual facts online that you do bring in a certain amount of income. You always were going to the store, shopping, and posting your life. I mean, this is what you do for a living. So
Absolutely.
where's the pockets?
I don't think that she expected
It's just
one
crazy.
for the trial to go on and be as in depth, like to reveal so much information that it did. And I didn't think she
Yeah.
expected for it to go on too long. I have a theory that she actually knew she was going to lose the whole time. And that is why she chose not to use a lawyer, because she didn't want to pay for that, knowing that she's going to lose regardless. I think she actually probably consulted with a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, "It ain't
Hmm.
looking good, buddy." So she decided to just represent herself, because why lose out on the money and lose and have to do all this other stuff? What she didn't bank on
Hmm.
was having to for the judgment to be what it was. I'll just say that. I don't think she
Right.
could have banked on that.
I totally agree with that because and I feel like well, I know we're probably gonna get into that, but there was a special video recording of her, and she when she was getting into talking about not having the money for a lawyer, and she was kind of asked the question like, do you wish you could have done this over? And she was like, definitely yes. So I think she was like regretful towards the end that she know that she messed up.
Yeah,
There was no ifs,
because
ands, or buts.
at the least, a lawyer, I feel like if she would have at least had a lawyer, she still would have lost. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the judgment would have been the judgment. I think a lawyer would have been able to navigate a settlement of sorts and or at least lessen the judgment in the end. But I do feel like a lawyer would have settled for way less than what, or at least tried to settle for a lot less than what it was. But it just would have navigated the
Yeah.
situation completely different. So just take heed, everybody. Don't represent yourself in court ever. Ever. If you can't
Uh-huh.
afford an actual lawyer outside of that, get a public defender. At least.
I agree because yes, I don't care how many Law and Order shows you watch. Don't try that in real life court. Sit it down.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody call Olivia Benson. Done.
Right. At the end of the trial, they really did say 3, 2, 1, release them on her
Release 'em.
funds. That's exactly what happened.
So I was gonna say, Tim testifies that his marriage to Akira, this is in the trial. In court, he testifies that his marriage to Akira was already struggling and they were more like roommates. Mind you, Akira had evidence that showed that even up to right before he moved in with Brenay, they were still having physical relations together. So whether you felt like it was roommates or not, y'all were clearly roommates with benefits. Sir. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. So on the lovely Dr. Phil show, there was an interview. And Tim was basically saying how him and Akira were gave the ultimatum by his parents that either, y'all get married and y'all can live together, or, you would have to go your separate ways, basically. And so I'm kind of just like, I wonder, I really wish that the parents could have been on the show as well and gave their side of the story, because at this point, I don't trust anything.
Right, right.
So y'all built a whole life off of just one condition. It's not giving. I don't understand it.
And you guys, obviously we're not going to go into every single alleged situation. I mean, for that, it would take so long to get into the nitty gritty. I will say there's so many podcasts on YouTube that do break it down piece by piece, day by day. Because like I said, this went on for quite some time. I want to say a couple months, but maybe it was only a month, but it felt like a couple. It was a little longer than I would have thought that it would have been. And so this dragged on. And so there's so much that we could get into. But if you, Maria J, can think of anything that really stood out to you throughout the trial that was surprising or anything like that.
I would say, so that was one of them, like the arrangement between Tim and Akira, because he basically made it sound like he really didn't want to marry her in the first place. Like it wasn't really that serious.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, a few children later, and even like looking at some of their photos, their marriage photos, it looks like they were the perfect family dynamic. I mean, you have the children, you have the pretty wife, you have the football playing husband. So what's the problem? But that's one of the things that really stood out to me. So I'm like, was it really a lie, or did something take place, or are you up under a spell and you're not thinking straight, sir? What's happening?
My theory with that is, and I'm glad you brought up that he was in a football player. So Tim was obviously wanting to make it big. He unfortunately had a accident that severely injured him, so he could no longer play football. So he couldn't go completely pro like he wanted to. Now I can't remember if he did make it pro and then he had to stop, or if he was on his way to make it pro. I think that was the case. But either way, it was very short-lived because of this injury. Just because I'm chronically online, I chronically watch shows and different things like that. And I've lived 35 years of life. I do feel like what happened was his ego was bruised a lot. He was supposed to be this big time, all-American type of, football player. Like you said, have it all, the beautiful family, all this stuff. Akira's probably fully at this point into motherhood, probably losing herself a little bit and just fully enthralled into motherhood with several different children at this point. And now here's Tim, and he's injured. He can't do that anymore. He's trying to figure out life and do other things. So what do you do when your ego is broken and your wife is busy, I don't know, like keeping your 3 kids alive? So she can't stroke your ego as much as she might have been able to before you had those children. And someone named Brenay is willing to stroke said ego, metaphorically and physically. Because I think a lot of people, especially if you didn't know Brenay and you go and look her up and you're like, you look at her, you look at Akira, and no shade to Brenay, she's a beautiful girl, but there's a difference between her and Akira. There's just different, depending on what you like. Some people would say Akira is more aesthetically pleasing to most people. And Brenay is not. And so you would think, oh, well, you would definitely never leave Akira to go to Brenay. But I don't think they know how men work. Men like attention. Yeah. And so I have a feeling it happened that some type of way like that. There was some type of door left open due to this fracture of ego, and Brenay fit right through.
That was well put together. Plus, they have history together, so it's something familiar, and it's like, okay, well, I'm back into it just like that. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
I also feel
and I kind of
that
feel
it's
like
a bit of a money grab on Tim's part.
Yes.
Brenay, as we stated earlier, during 2020, Brenay shot up crazy on TikTok. She had been doing this for a little bit before 2020, but in 2020 she got huge.
Yes.
So I just want to make that clear. Like, Brenay is making a lot of money at this moment.
Yeah, and like you can even kind of see it too, because she'll say like, "Oh, I'm just buying him stuff because that's the womanly thing to do in the relationship." But it's like, girl, if you sugar mama, just say that. We see it. It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's a lot of red flags that you do see between. So okay, you have. And I'm gonna just say this really quick because I know we're almost on the road to close up. But you see Brenay and Devon, you seen that whole dynamic, and then you see Brenay and Tim, and it's totally different. You can tell that the way she's getting treated now versus then is a whole different ball game.
Oh, big time. Big time. But I think what attracts her to Tim is Tim does want to be in the spotlight. Okay. Devon didn't.
Yeah.
But Devon treated her well and nice, as far as we know. Okay. Nothing has shown us otherwise that Devon did not, treat her nice and well. Tim, if you go and watch the videos, especially now, in the more recent ones, he puts her down a lot, like kind of says, and I get banter. I understand that. I like a good banter situation too, but there's a difference between like just a nice little light banter and someone putting you down or stuff like that, acting like they don't like you, things like that. Like, it's very odd. And I was just like, I feel like she traded one thing to get someone who wanted to be in front of the camera with her, but then you lost that core stuff, right? The person who actually loved you for who you are before you were TikTok famous. I wanted to mention something that popped out to me during the trial that was really interesting, and we'll try to make this as quick as possible. As we stated earlier, Brenay is a twin. And so during all these court proceedings, you have people on lovely TikTok giving their opinions, as we're doing now. Again, this is all alleged, but I found it really interesting that a lot of people were digging into all of Brenay's family and history and all of Tim's stuff and just like really putting things together. And it was alleged first on TikTok that one of Brenay's, by the way, Brenay has no children. We need to put that out there. Brenay has no children with Devon, nobody. Devon with nobody. Brenay's sister has, I think, 2 or 3 children. She had recently just had one
Two
child, about
children.
a
Mm-hmm.
yeah, two children. Thank you. Maybe about a year prior to
Mm-hmm.
this, maybe. It has always
Uh-huh.
been speculated that that child had a different baby daddy, because she was very open about who the baby daddy was with the first child, but never said who the baby daddy was with the second child. And then
Mm-hmm.
people, like I said, were digging throughout this trial because a lot of things were coming out, and they were like, wait, that new baby look a lot like Tim. And Tim look a lot like
Yeah.
that new baby. What's going on?
Uh-huh.
And then some text messages and things were released in court that, to me, kind of proved that to be true. Just saying.
Yeah.
Very interesting. How does that work? Your sister's kids are your boyfriend slash husband's kids? Like,
Right.
when
So
did that
those are
happen?
your nep- nephew sons? Like what's what?
That's diabolical. Nephew sons is crazy. Cause we getting into some Alabama stuff now. No offense. No offense to anyone. Was there no one else in North
Yeah,
Carolina?
that's a lot. Mm-hmm.
All the North Carolinas come
Noted.
to the front.
Right.
Is there a shortage of people in North Carolina? I need to know this now.
Yeah, because no, that is not so like I know sometimes when it comes to twins, we can share everything. We can share lip gloss, we can share clothes, we can share food. What we not gonna do is share a man. We not doing
We're
it.
not gonna share that. No. Hard no.
And then you know what else came out when it came to that? When you speaking about the baby dad with the second child, is I believe there was a question of will there be a paternity test taken? And so I feel like they made the narrative that the baby's dad was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to take the test." No, he actually came out and said that he wanted to take the test, but for some reason there still hasn't been a test taken.
Mm-mm.
And that's very strange.
Very strange. Corinne
Mhm.
actually was on a live. She hadn't done one like that since, but during the trial and stuff, she did do a live and said, because she was hearing all the accusations. And she said something really interesting. And she's like, no, no, I know that's not Tim's baby because of the timeline. And everybody's like, why would you say that? That's what an odd
Yeah.
thing to say. What an odd thing to say. Because
Mhm.
if I knew that I haven't messed around with my sister's now boyfriend, or husband,
Mhm.
I guess. But if I knew that, my first thing I would say is, oh no, 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 that's not his baby because we've never had sexual relations.
Right.
That was not what
Yes.
was said. So a lot of people clock that.
Mm-mm.
Something wrong with y'all. Clearly.
Absolutely. Mhm.
What I meant. So
And
earlier we were discussing the
th-
witchcraft and the love spells and all the things. Let's get into like how that,
mhm.
if you're ready to get into it, but about the karma of it all. Like, what do you think about like what's gonna
Mhm.
happen with that?
I definitely feel like so here's my thing. When it comes to getting somebody else's man, knowing that he's a habitual cheater, knowing that he is not respectful when it comes to having a relationship, what makes you the unicorn pony that's gonna come in and change this man? Like, what's special about you that you're gonna get him to not cheat? So all of a sudden, he's just faithful.
Right.
And I remember there was a statement said by Miss Montague, Brenay Montague now,
Oh,
and she was saying how she was saying how she Tim was had infidelity when it came to Akira, but he would never do that to her. Like that's a totally different thing. And he was kind of, questioned about it. And so he was like, "So you wouldn't cheat on Brenay?" It's like, "No, that's different." Well, how? What makes it different? Because you're still the same person. So what's
but she
different?
got money.
Mm-hmm.
But that still
Yes.
won't stop him.
And
He
I'm
will
pretty
cheat.
sure, yes. And I'm pretty sure, like with this situation, Brenay is just the type of person, and I'm so sorry to say it, but she will know that that man is cheating on her and still be there because she
Yeah.
rather stay stuck in that situation because she wanted it oh so bad to
Yes.
face the music and be like, dang, it actually happened to me too. Well,
Yeah.
absolutely, sweetheart. I'm glad you have came to that
Mm-hmm.
realization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brenay, if you look at her videos now, it's very hard to watch. I still follow her more so to be nosy than
Mm-hmm.
anything. And one, people have basically ran her off TikTok. She does not post much on TikTok, but she does post on Instagram here and there and a lot on Snapchat
Mm-hmm.
now. So she's moved platforms completely almost. And it's mostly because she was just, I mean, her views were down on TikTok. Things were going really bad. People were mass unfollowing her. The comments, she always had to turn the comments
Mm-hmm.
off because they were just so, people were just so upset with everything. And actually, I think we forgot to even mention, obviously, we kind of alluded to it, but Akira did win. She did
Yes.
win. Do you have the exact
Mm-hmm.
amount? Wasn't it 2.5 something million?
$1.75
Darn,
million
my bad.
dollars.
That I'll take
Yeah.
that too.
Right.
Absolutely. I don't know where 2.5 was coming from. It was in my spirit. She should have got 2.5.
Yes.
1.7 million, y'all. Do y'all hear that? 1.7
Yes.
million. Is that worth
All
it?
because of one decision. Yes. Cost you a meal.
I don't know about you guys, and you might have to bleep this part. There's no penis in this world that I would give $1.7 million for. Not a one.
No.
Not a one, baby.
Mm-mm.
I've seen them before. I'm not giving 1.7 for that thing. Okay? No.
I don't care if it's made out of gold, child. It's
I
not
don't
worth it.
care.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
doing it.
No, because it's probably fake
Mm-mm.
anyways. It's pirate's gold. Lying. I don't want it.
And that's just goes to show you like how costly a mistake can be. Like you
Oh,
were perfectly fine minding your business, trying to get through your own relationship. You kept pushing and you just had to go to your ex-boyfriend and it cost you $1.7 million. That's an expensive relationship.
and honestly, it cost her more than that because her future was so bright when it came to TikTok and YouTube and all these things. She was, I mean, grossing so many views. I mean, this girl was getting millions and millions and millions of views and making all this money. He cost you so much more than
Yep.
$1.7 million when you look at it because you're never gonna get
Mm-hmm.
that back. You're just never because you're always gonna be known as a Jezebel. You're always gonna be Jezebel. Always. Now, the only
Yep.
thing I can say that she can
Mm-hmm.
do to kind of get something is maybe put a movie out, a TV show, or something like that. But at the end of the day, once that's over, you still gonna be Jezebel, babe. No one's rocking with you.
Yep.
We gonna watch the movie.
Mm-hmm. We will be at the box office. Just want to
We
let you know.
will be there. Popcorn. So
Yeah, and like she lost out on brand deals, and that is you're absolutely right. She lost on way more because brands even started dropping her. It's like, no, we're not working with her. And we can
mm,
understand who wants to be wrapped up in a lawsuit, and this is supposed to be somebody pushing out your business.
mm. And I think deep down she
It's a
knows
lot.
that too. She knows that too because you
Yeah.
mentioned Dr. Phil. She's been going. Her and Tim have actually been doing not lately, but I think last month we're doing a lot of press for some reason. And I
Mm-hmm.
guess because when the trial ended, she wanted to kind of get her take out there. I don't know why she did the press run, but they did do a press run. I think they were on Dr. Phil and Tamara Hall. I don't know if they were on any others, but I do
Uh-huh.
know for sure they're on both of those. And on the Tamara Hall show, Tamara asked a really good question and said, "Was was he worth it?" He being Tim, and Tim, mind you, is sitting right next to Brenay. And Brenay says, I
Yeah.
feel like it was a Freudian slip. I think she answered right away because that was really what was in her gut. And she said, no.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd's reaction was
Yep.
what, Maria J?
They said,
And so immediately Brenay realizes, I mean, like, I still I mean, he was, but like she tried to like piece it back together, but she really knows deep down.
Mm-hmm.
When she go and sit on the toilet and scroll on her phone, she knows. I'm just saying, I think that's the most vulnerable place to be sometimes. You sitting on you know what it is. You know what it is. You can fake it to other people and be like, no, we're happy, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. We see it in the way she catches herself. So just to kind of piggyback on that too, with Devon, it was attitude. She would come back with some really smart remarks. With Tim, she catches herself. She's like, "Oh, let me rephrase how I said that," or "Babe, I'm just playing." No, it seems like with this relationship, she's being changed. You can look at the hairstyle changes, the fingernail changes, the way that she talks to him, different things that she does. You know what? I'm no shade. I haven't seen a Chipotle bowl since she's been with him.
In the podcast, you're done. In the podcast, allegedly, she allegedly has seen a Chipotle bowl. I'm not getting sued. I ain't got it. Not the Chipotle bowl. If you know, you know. Okay.
Right.
But I ain't had Chipotle in so long. It brings back so many. It brings back so many flashbacks. Ah. Oh God.
Now that's the side eyes we talk about with the vibes. That's the side eyes part. Maria J is the side eyes.
Absolutely.
I'm the vibes. She's the side eyes. If you were wondering.
Yes. But no, with that being said though, did you want to kind of go over really quick? I know we are hastening to our close, but with the way that everybody has been dealing with the breakup, Devon, when he posts on TikTok now, he has like these shady poems that he does. And I mean, he mentions a lot of stuff in there, but y'all have to realize, like, this guy went through trauma with this relationship. This was his first marriage. He's young, probably learning how to, place his emotions. And he had been quiet through the whole process. So I think now it's only right for him. Like, if he wants to make a poem or two and get some stuff off his chest, by all means, go ahead. We're here for you. It's okay.
And I feel the same way. I do hope he's healing. I do hope he's seeking therapy, counseling of some sorts, because like you just said before, it is trauma. I mean, we get online, we hee hee ha ha about it. But at the end of the day, these are real people, real lives. And I hope Devon is treating himself well. If you know, if you do follow him, you've seen he's dropped a lot of weight healthily. I believe it was in a healthy way. And he looks way better. He's one of those people who have those deep eye things. So I hope everything's okay there, because sometimes I feel like he doesn't get much sleep because he has those deep eyes. But some people naturally have it. So I don't know if it's that or not. I don't want to put that on him. But I really hope he's taking good care of himself at the end of the day when he turns the phone off or the TikTok off. He's still a person, and I hope he's seeking. I think all of them, I hope they are seeking a lot of help. Everybody.
Yeah, and speaking of Akira, she has a new baby on the way. So shout out to you, girl. So glad that you are having, a new relationship and sprouting.
And it's not
we
Tim's.
love that for
it's
you.
Not Tim's.
Yeah.
It's not Tim's.
Right.
It's the new boyfriend.
Let's make that clear.
Yes, absolutely. It is not Tim. And they were already divorced.
But yeah, like yes. I'm just, happy that all of this is over with. I hope every part of the party has learned their lesson. Different mistakes can have different repercussions. They can be expensive for sure, not just monetary, but just in life, period. And, you just have to think things through. Like, it might sound good playing around in your head, but like really take some time, sit on it, and then come back to it, because it could really cost you.
Yeah. I mean, you were messing with people's timelines and lives and families. Like, it just jumbled things up. You didn't know how things would have gone if you didn't do said act. Like, you don't know where you could have been or those other people could have been. Like, when you start messing with that stuff, God bless them. I mean, I don't know. That it could never be me. I could not do something to that degree. And I have a feeling Brenay does not have many friends around her, because why would she? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like she has many people. So I do think she is clinging on to Tim, and she better hope and pray that he is the person she thinks he is.
Because with that being said, too, I could see her going down a downward spiral. You know, like mentally, that would be a lot on her, because
A lot.
apparently, like, she invested a lot to try to get this thing to work with him. And I just know if it doesn't end up working out, which we kind of made their prediction that we don't think is going to last, like, that's going to crush her.
Absolutely. And I don't wish it on anyone, not even Brenay. None of us are
Yeah.
perfect. And I think she made a huge mistake. And she's continuing to make certain mistakes, but I do think that everyone can have a redemption arc for the most part, exception of like people who hurt people in a certain type of way. But like, for the most part, I do believe in redemption, and I think she can come out still really well if she makes those changes and atones, and like we all have to do. But yeah, she really did it. And I want to put this out there again. I hope Devon's getting a lot of help, because it's hard for me to watch his videos and his lives. I think he still loves her. I really do think he still loves her, and has a certain soft spot still, even with her, because I don't know. I just feel that, like, I don't know. Even when he's like joking on her and stuff like that, he'll make jokes about her. But I think he's just so hurt, and I think he really still loves that girl, low key, like low key.
Yeah, it's just something about it, because I feel like she's more on the level of like being his first love. So that takes
Exactly.
some time to get over. That'll have a chokehold on you for a while.
Yeah.
So
I think that was his first love, and Tim was hers.
yes, she just could not break it. So I mean, hey, if it's snap crackles pop, we're here for the Rice Krispie treat, but I don't know. It's not looking too promising.
Yep. And you guys, I mean, this has been my favorite episode. I know this is only episode 2, but this has been my favorite episode thus far. Again, this is Valentine's Day, so we just wanted to talk about this crazy dynamic, because also I think it's really important to know that everything that glitter is not gold. And especially on Valentine's Day, you see so many pictures of loving couples, which I pray they're all really loving couples, but you just never know what their story is, how they got there, and what's to come. So
that's some very good advice. Give it up, y'all, in the comments for Madam Taylor with her wisdom.
Give
Absolutely.
it up for Maria J, everybody. Maria J. I really enjoyed this episode.
Yes, this was an amazing episode. We dug a lot into that whole situation, and I hope y'all enjoyed this episode as well.
Yes.
Also, make sure you guys follow us on YouTube under Vibes and Side Eyes Podcast. And just join the family over there. Right now, we have like 1 or 2 little shorts up, but show love to those. Share the profile and everything with your friends and family, and just come on the ride with us. This is going to be a journey. We're going to have so much fun and talk about so many good things.
Yes, and please don't forget to go in the comments and let's have a good time in the comments, you guys. We'll meet y'all there. We want to have a good discussion about today's episode. And let us know what else you want to talk about and what you want to see. If you want some more deep dives, let us know. What's some hot topics? We got so much tea to pour.
Yes, absolutely. Because tonight's was piping hot.
Ooh, girl. You see, I ran out of juice. So, all right, you guys. Until we meet again, please go and tell as many people as you can about this podcast, because we are so excited to be here, and we're excited to keep going and going and going this whole year. So, really excited.
So thank y'all for joining us tonight, and I guess we're about to close out. See y'all in the next episode.
Bye.